Hey, Motorman here on Christmas Day, wishing all of you a very Merry Christmas. And I want to bring you part 2 of Beauty versus Brawn, where we took Megan O'Connor, a new YouTuber, and we show her how to really ride like a pro. What you're seeing here is the very first exercise. Donna demonstrates it. I explain it as she goes along. And we want to get that bike swinging and swaying. And the slow cone weave will end up into a big, about a 30-foot U-turn. And this is pretty typical of what we see in our classes. The riders at first, not being used to doing these type of slow speed maneuvers, have serious problems. But in about 30-40 minutes or so, they all improve at least 100%. Now, Megan had tried this the day before on the Sportster and actually graduated up to the Electra Glide and really had no problem with it. Now, it's a little bit different today because there's 7 other students besides her, and I didn't get a chance to get every one of them into the video, but the main thing that I want you to see here is how we took this tiny woman and got her up on a 900-pound motorcycle really quickly in about an hour and a half.
Look right at me, right here, right here. Come on, here. Like a crazy person, that's what I want. Turn that head.
Here the riders try to establish sort of a rhythm as they go through the cones, and this rider, this is a little unusual in that he's going way too fast. Usually it's the opposite, but this is where you want to get aggressive, not on the street. After a couple of times through this exercise on the Sportster, I told Megan to get onto the Road King, because it looked like it wasn't enough of a challenge for her.
I want to hear that throttle.
She said she didn't like the Road King as much as she liked the Electra Glide, but you know, that's mainly in your head. It's really the same bike. Actually should be a little easier because it probably weighs about 20 pounds less, maybe 25 pounds less than the Electra Glide because there's no fairing. But she felt the clutch was a little too heavy on this bike, but it's the exact same clutch as it was on the Electra Glide. I think because she spent an hour and a half the day before working that clutch so much that maybe her hand was a little bit tired and it felt different to her or more difficult to pull in the clutch, but that's not the case. Now, of course, keep in mind she's not perfect. She makes some mistakes. That's very common. Right here in this shot, you can see she's cutting it a little too close. She should be going all the way out to the green tipped cone, and sometimes she cuts it a little short. That makes it more difficult for herself. The point of this exercise is to get you to feel the motorcycle transition quickly from left to right.
You got to stay in the friction zone. You got to slip that clutch, and you got to keep constant pressure, even hard pressure right now on that brake. Over here. Make a right. Keep coming right. Keep coming. Make a left. Quickly. Slip that clutch. Slip it. Slip it. Way back this way. Now turn. Slipping that clutch. Over here. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Turn, quick. Look back here. Turn. Look back here, back here, back here. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Turn. Get inside. Look back here, look back here. Come on. Turn. No sooner do you go left, you gotta go right. Right. Left. Use some throttle, you paid for it. You missed the green by 6 feet. Get all the way to the green. Turn your head now, look back at me. Come on, come on, come on. Now turn the other way. Back at me, back here, slipping that clutch, slipping it. Turn your head, slipping it. Don't be Quasimodo, get that shoulder down. You want to ring the bells at the church? There's one up the street. Shoulder down. Keep on that throttle. You're trying to conserve gas? It's his gas. He don't care. He owns a gas station. Get that shoulder down. Don't hit that cone. Megan in the rain. Whipping through the intersection. Better than all of the so-called experienced riders. And looking pretty doing it.
Since we hadn't had any rain in a few weeks, this sudden downpour was really making the parking lot kind of slippery. I'm trying at this time to make a decision as to whether we should call the class. It's a difficult decision to make because riders come from quite a distance off, but it's better to err on the side of caution. And eventually that's what I had to do, was cancel the class. Of course, the riders are able to come back anytime they care to. Rain, though, didn't seem to bother Megan one bit. She was still whipping through there and leaning the motorcycle, turning her head and eyes. Just got to get a little bit smoother, and that comes through practice. I'm betting she's going to practice on her own when she gets back home on her own bike, and she'll just keep getting better and better.
Beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. It looks pretty when you're doing it right. And having a pretty little girl on there, little tiny thing whipping that bike around. She's got no fear. Look only at the green. You looked at it, you're looking at it. I'll give it to you to take home. You can stare at it there.
I eventually had to stop the class because of the rain. It was getting a little bit too dangerous, but Megan asked for one more try through the offset cone weave, and she wanted to give it just one more try to make sure that she had her down pat, and as you can see, she does, no problem, even in the pouring rain. That's my finger or my hand over the lens you see there, trying to keep the rain off of the lens. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you learned something. Size and strength doesn't matter. It's technique and low fear level.
Forgot there was another
Until
gate.
next time.